All right. Took me a second when so normally as soon as I start streaming, I pull up the window where YouTube does. Like I open, so I have, it's not exactly easy to explain. Basically, I have a service that lets me restream. It's what it's called. Lets me stream to all the different platforms at once, right? And when I'm in that admin window, like that kind of dashboard, I can see a preview of the stream going, and there's a link to view it on YouTube. I use that because I don't have a link to like a URL to the video, to the live stream video until I go live. And then that's created on the fly by Restream at the time that I start streaming. So from the dashboard, as soon as I start streaming, I open that and then I have the YouTube window up so that I can pop out the chat so that chat will be collated among all the other chats that I'm doing, right? But when I pulled it up initially, it pulled up for the stream about 10 hours ago instead of this stream. So not a huge deal. Probably more of an explanation than you really wanted, but that's yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay. Let me go back to this. This. All right. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Again, to shift things over. Hang on. Bring this all the way over to there, I think. That's how far I have to bring it over. This. Here. Okay, so now if I shift back. Still no. Gosh. Okay. Problematic. At some point I will probably remember, but I don't currently remember. And now since we did it last time, I know that this, it's cool, but it's just a circle, like it's just circling around. All the paths come back to the same place or dead end. So it doesn't really, there's nothing here. Which was expected, but just, you never know. They might have hidden an Easter egg in this or something. But no. Yeah, this last time, we ended up at Jacob's house. We talked to this older guy, Jacob, who told us about Mr. Nathanael. I guess he worked for him way back, like years and years ago. Told us a tragic story about that. Tragic story about that. How Mr. Nathaniel had gotten involved with the cult, and they had required his wife Isabel as a, not as a sacrifice. They required that his wife Isabel stay confined, and she tried to flee. And at that point, then they said, "Okay, well now you have to kill her. She can't let other people know about what we're doing. And he didn't have a choice. He didn't feel. You always have a choice. He should not have done it, period. I don't care if they would have killed him or not as well. But he did. He gave in to their demands, and he took her, killed her. And so, anyway, and he apparently, supposedly, like we are his descendant, the grandson or something like that, and his I don't know if it's just like a purpose or if it's his ability, but his call to do whatever he was doing has trickled down to us. There very likely is nothing in here because it's his house and not something we're actively investigating. But I figured I would check just in case. But yeah, it's as I thought. Nothing really going on. Now I don't remember, is he a clockmaker? Because he's got a lot of clocks in here. And I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. We do have some clues that we got from him though. So let's do some of these things. Hey, Volvox, welcome. It's going well. Yes, they definitely knew that I would come here. They were waiting for me all this time. So they were expecting me, yeah. I don't think the gate is tied to the old building. I think the old building is a manner to get to the gate because of the things that were there, like the insects for the Verzaha mixture and stuff. I've done some of these before, and I don't know, really, if I'm gonna get anything more by trying again, but... So, Drayden is dead. Or, sorry, did Drayden report back? Ivar is dead. Something with... Hang on. Let me get rid of these for a second. There's something with... Fell asleep around 7 last night? Oh, yeah, that's pretty tired. Hopefully you got rest. There is, maybe it's under one of the insects thing. There's something, one of these clues talks about how they don't really care about most of the people in the cult. It's the leaders are the ones who are, they basically are heartless, just trying to go after their single purpose of finding the more the mixture or enlightenment or summoning something, whatever their actual purpose is. So, what? Maybe some of these. Not that one. Insects are obviously very dangerous. People are still working with them. Gold is very important. So, not that. Yeah, here we go. He didn't say anything about the others. It seems those without rank are nothing more than animals to them. Some combination maybe of some of these others, but I don't know. Maybe just Ivar is dead? Good. I'm glad you got rest. Does this go with? Probably not. Maybe though. No. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if any of these others... Maybe I do this. Ivar? Maybe. No. Speaking machines. Even though that's kind of tied, we use the speaking machine to, well, combined with the generator or whatever, to summon Wolfgang Schneider last time. I don't think we got Schneider. I think we got something that's pretending to be a ghost of somebody from this world. Like a demon or something from another dimension. What's this? Oh, that's the suit. Yeah. Okay. If I do this, probably not. But this is where I found the suit. Yeah. No. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if any of these others are going to combine or not. I've already tried all the things related to insects in various combinations, and I don't get anything when I do those. So I don't think that's right. Ivar and Drayden are both dead, but their clues don't really go together. Just seeing if there are any additional clues to put together. Just like in the first game, in this game, sometimes you pick one of these and like drag it over here. Then you pick something else, you drag it over here, and then you click the think or combine. And then sometimes instead of maybe something else, or I need to rethink this, or some indication that you don't get anything, do not get anything out of it. Sometimes instead you'll get a clue from here, and then the two things that you had chosen and put there, or three in rare cases, they'll disappear and a new clue will appear, combining the ideas together. So for example, just a few minutes ago, well, let me first slightly back up. So at the end of last time, we talked to this gentleman here, this older guy here, Jacob, okay? And when talking to him, among other things in the conversation, he mentioned that our ancestor, like grandfather, I guess, or something like that, Nathanael, had planned for and understood, somehow arranged for kind of his legacy to continue through us. That there's basically this prophecy that says that a particular bloodline has the chance of either stopping or releasing this great evil on the world. Something like that, I think. It's been I don't know why, but I can't remember from last week exactly what it said. Something along those lines, though. And so we are from the same bloodline as our grandfather, Nathanael. So, when we came here to this town, not counting all the stuff that happened in the first game, even, but just in this game, our coming to this town was something that the cults knew would happen because of this prophecy. So what I did was I combined one of these thought things that was like Nathaniel's, Nathaniel knew, or the prophecy said we would come or something, or the prophecy's about us or something like that. Okay, so I had one of those over here. And then from way earlier in the game, probably like the first night we slept in Arkham, overnight, we learned some information where the cult knew we were here. And so I combined that clue with the prophecy clue, and it gave me this one. They were expecting me. The other two clues, of course, went away because we've combined the idea together into here. So yes, they definitely knew I would come here. They were waiting for me all this time. That's because of the prophecy. So we have this thing called the gate now. I don't think it is tied to it, right? But let me do this just in case. Yeah. The old building was kind of where they had the insects and stuff for making the mixture and trying to summon, what's his name? Schneider. Wolfgang Schneider, but it's not directly tied to the gate. In fact, I've forgotten where the gate's supposed to be. Let me talk to Jacob again and ask one more time.
You can speak freely now.
Hello, my name is Howard. I'm here because Henry Lawrence told me you could help me with a special matter.
What matter is that?
Do you recognize the name The Gate?
I had a feeling you were going to ask that. Your voice, your eyes, those burning bright eyes. You look exactly like him.
Who?
Him. He told me about you once. How you would come back one day. This is your destiny. You cannot go against it.
Okay, I'm going to proceed from this and then we're going to reload. We already did all of this dialogue. It's exactly like last time. So there's some error in their coding where it cycles back through. So I got the clue again, I would return. That's the clue that I combined, that I was talking about before. I combined I would return with they know I'm here to they knew I would be coming. So that's weird. That's a glitch in the game. We got the clue again. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to proceed to remind myself about where he says the gate is or whatever clues he gives about that. And then we're going to reload, and I'm just going to combine those two clues, and then we're going to go. Because we've already got all the stuff we have from him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to combine those clues. Because I wouldn't have got this before. But I did just now get it again. It's weird. So, anyway.
He is completely mad, but I must get some answers. Can you tell me about the gate?
It is the building nestled over the Black Abyss. You should have remembered it by now. But it seems it is still not clear for you. You will remember soon.
What do you mean by Black Abyss?
That place is built upon a web of underground passages that lead to Gehenna. That's why they call it the Gate. It is the gate to the unlit hell beneath the surface that hides unimaginable secrets from our eyes. Mr. Nathanael, he was the one who called you beyond time. He learned that if he appealed to Yog-Sothoth, someone from his own bloodline would one day come back. I was only a child, but I remember everything. I remember what they did under that damn place. I can see him in your eyes. And there was that other child. He was not human. He looked exactly like one, and they treated him like one. But I could tell he wasn't human at all. No human child can speak with the knowledge of the darkest abysses like him. None can speak about the heathen arcane knowledge of the darkest ages, which are veiled from the eyes of simple men like us. If only you heard him, then you would understand me. But yet, all that is also in you. You will soon remember. Everything will come back to you. Every memory. Silently, I listened to his muffled voice as he screamed, growled, jumped and crashed around at night under the ground.
That sounds like the kid in Scratches, kind of. Since I think you were gone last week, and we're basically decently close still to the beginning of the stream. I mean, we're half hour or 20 minutes in now, but that's fine. I'm just going to proceed through the dialogue. But I'm worried about a glitch, so after we finish the dialogue, I will reload, because we already did this conversation. I don't want to get the clue again when I was supposed to have the clue, when I already had, I don't want to get the clue again when I'm supposed to have already used it and combined it with something else, so that clue's just kind of lingering out. I don't know if that's going to cause some problems, so.
What do you mean Mr. Nathanael called me beyond time?
They needed a blood descendant, but only such a person can do what they require. Mr. Nathanael, he could speak with his ancestors. Or maybe the opposite was true. They told him to call you, and so he did. He somehow learned strange languages he never even knew existed. And with this knowledge, he read forbidden books gathered from around the world. Passages about summoning beyond time. Those fiendish necromantic murmurings and chants.
How did this Mr. Nathanael learn such an appeal?
He learned it from Jediah, a shadow from his own lineage, from your lineage.
That'd be why this is Darkness Within to the Dark Lineage. It has to do with, Robin from Scratches. That's right, yep. That's why this is Darkness Within 2, the Dark Lineage. This is our lineage ties all this summoning stuff together.
What child?
The child Mr. Nathanael was told to take in. He took him into his home, despite strong opposition from Mrs. Ingrid, his wife. During the early days, the child often suffered serious seizures, and they had to lock him up after he murdered a maid. It was horrible. That was the time Mr. Nathanael fired all the maids and servants except my father, since he'd been with him for a long time and knew many secrets. Then, they gave the boys something to make him calm. It seemed like he forgot what he knew. And after that, he grew up in that house like a normal child. Until one day, when he left the house to go elsewhere. I don't know where he went, but I was told he would come back when the right time came. I know he is also here. I can feel him.
So they gave him that, and he got calm, and then went away, or like grew up like a normal child or normal person until he went away, and then things happened, right? That part actually also a little bit sounds like Black Mirror with Samuel Gordon, right? The protagonist that we played. He apparently, I mean, not the whole, like, they knew he wasn't human and stuff like that, but he seemed normal. He went away, and sometime while he was away, he snapped and started killing people, came back, killed more people after he returned. And anyway, that's interesting. Another game with a similar idea. It's interesting.
How can you know this much about me?
Mr. Nathanael told me some things, but I learned most of what I know from eavesdropping and secretly reading the same things he read. Only the ones in English, of course. He had some friends who shared the same interests as him. When they gathered, and the incense was heavy in the air, it was easy to listen in on their excited conversations. They often talked about you, and some others who are like you. And there were other things that I wouldn't have understood unless I'd read some of the books. His wife, that poor woman, hated his friends and the topics they spoke about in those heathen meetings. Once, she tried to escape, but he brought her back and locked her up in her room. She died there. But he was not like that originally. The only mistake he made was moving into that house of his ancestors after he married. But maybe it was a fate he could not fight against.
So I had that wrong earlier when I was trying to remember and summarize from last time, the beginning of the stream. I was wrong. I had said that he killed her, but he didn't really. He, per the strong suggestion, I'll say, of the others in the cult, when Ingrid, his wife, tried to leave, he was going to just let her go, but Nathanael, under pressure, went after her, grabbed her, and brought her back to the house and locked her in a room where she eventually died. So he didn't kill her, at least not directly. He just locked her away so she couldn't go anywhere, and she eventually died.
Who is this Jediah?
I don't know. I only know his name, and that he was from Nathanael's bloodline. I once read in one of the books that even if you kill the physical body of some people, it doesn't mean they're really dead and will disappear from this world. They can find a way to come back, and then silently wait for their time to come.
That'd be some monkey's paw stuff going on. Kinda.
Who told him to take the child in?
I don't know. It was so sudden. One particularly stormy night, a stranger came with that child. He was a tall and dangerous-looking man. All the servants were frightened of him at first sight. Yet he himself seemed afraid of the child. I listened to their conversation and learned that he could hardly speak our language. So he spoke with Mr. Nathanael in a language that only he seemed to know. Only 2 days later did we really discover why he came. He'd brought the child from a distant place for Mr. Nathanael to raise, and he accepted the boy in without hesitation. But he never explained why he agreed to do it.
Why did Mrs. Ingrid want to escape?
I'm not sure, but I think she saw something terrible. She knew a lot about the things her husband was interested in doing. But after the child incident, she started to hate him, though she stayed by his side. After a while, the situation began to change and got more serious. And that's when the secret meetings began. She hated it all, both the meetings and those who attended them. And one day, it seemed she couldn't take it anymore and ran away. But Mr. Nathaniel's friends forced him to take her back and lock her up. They saw Mrs. Ingrid as a threat who might reveal secrets about them. He had to do as they instructed, but he wasn't happy about it.
He seems completely mad. But somehow, I get the feeling his words weren't just crazed ramblings or the wild imagination of a madman.
Yep. So again, like I said, we got that clue back, which we shouldn't. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll just leave it. Whatever. Because I almost feel like that might... Well, I don't know. Hang on. Let me do this. Let me save here for a second. 7. Okay. Now let me load back this. See if it's the same clue exactly or if it's different. Okay, so if I go here. Yeah. See, it is. It's literally the same clue. So I don't know. I don't know why it let me get it again. Anyway, so this is. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm supposed to get it a second time because this is exactly the same. Jacob said he knew I would come here one day. What could that mean? How can you know that I would come here? This is exactly the same. Yeah, I think it's just a glitch that it let me get it again. That said, I'll show you since I reloaded. And the only reason I reloaded is I don't want to risk the glitch happening, or some further complication from the glitch. I don't know that there will be any, but just to be safe, I don't want to risk a complication. So we reloaded, so I didn't get the clue again. Although I proceeded through the conversation or the dialogue so you could see all that information yourself and be caught up on that. Figured while I'm there already. Okay. Now I'll show you, since I reloaded with what I had before I started tonight, I'll show you combining clues. So not that. So this, they know me. We had this earlier, like I said, the first night in this town we had. I woke up and heard people downstairs looking for me, but they did not find me. So, so that was where this was. They know about me. How could that be? I wonder why they're talking about taking something from a tomb. Okay, so they know me. combines with I would come back. He knew I would come back here one day. What could that mean? How could he know that I would come here? And if I go like this... Yes, they definitely knew that I would come here. They were waiting for me all this time. And so now we have they were expecting me as the replacement clue. You'll notice they were waiting for me. Or, yeah, they knew about me, I should say. And Jacob... Anyway, you know what I mean. Like, those two disappeared, and this is the clue that's left over now. So yeah, I was trying to see if some of these others combine, because we have an awful lot. Just to answer your question from earlier. Yeah, exactly. So I didn't need to get it again. It's some glitch. It probably is some check, like, if, like, I'll put it in, like, more English terms, right? But more, it's probably some check, like, if you talk to Jacob, and you don't have this clue in your list of clues, then you gain this clue in your list of clues. What the logic should be is, if you talk to Jacob, and you don't have this clue in your list of clues, or you don't have the combined clue in your list of clues. So if you have neither of those, then add the clue. That way, if you've combined them, you don't gain the clue again when you shouldn't, right? Doesn't make sense. So just a flaw in the logic. I'm sure there's probably just their conditional statement, if this, then this, was flawed and didn't account for having the combined version. It's not the end of the world, but I also don't think having the clue would hurt anything, but I'd like to be safe rather than sorry, just in case. Because I don't know, obviously, all the inner workings of their code and stuff, so I have no idea if there's something else that relies on that later that could throw a problem and crash the game or something. So we'll just avoid it entirely. A lot of this stuff ties together, but it doesn't tie together when I go up here. Yeah, and that reminds me again, because I again talked about the combined clue thing. So to your question, no, you do not end up combining all of the clues. That makes it even trickier, because sometimes you combine them and you get more stuff, and sometimes you don't. And you don't know what's going to combine and what's not. So there's a lot of playing around with it, trying to figure out what will go together. You find things that look like they're related and try them and see if they'll work, and they don't always, of course. So, like, for example, and this one failed, that you may have seen earlier. Did Drayden report back? So when we were in that old building, that corpse that was in the corner upstairs, that was Drayden. Okay, and he died. So Drayden died. Ivar died. And this also says that he probably reported back. Oh, that's an interesting one. I wonder if I could do that. Anyway, so I was combining those with this one, which talks about how the people, like, in the cult, people who don't have rank don't really matter to them. Yes, they're in the cult, they're part of the people in the cult, like, they belong in the cult, but they don't really, they're just experiments, basically, for the uppers, the higher ups, to try to figure things out. Yeah, so I was gonna say Drayden reported back. Could be the old building, could be a few things. Let's try this one first. No, okay, not that. Don't think this is going to be something either. Oh, there you go. I think these people are mentioned, these are the people mentioned in the letter. I found on Drayden, the ones who came here because of Drayden's report. I believe I'm safe for now, but what killed them and why? So I did. Okay. So Drayden probably reported back, and interesting, the dead bodies in the forest. Okay. I think these are people mentioned in the letter I found on Drayden, the ones who came here because of Drayden's report. I believe I'm safe for now, but what killed them and why? That is help for Drayden. These are the people mentioned in the letter. So those people in the letter would be... Let's see. This one? Yeah. As you already know, we have no hope of understanding some of the obscure writings of Wolfgang Schneider. There's a major obstacle in our way now. There are still things that we must acquire and get done in a very short period of time. Good day, Monmouth. So I've combined a couple of clues today, Monmouth, successfully. Just kind of guesswork, but I've combined a couple things. I'll tell you in a second. Okay. I don't think I get this. I mean, we already used this, right? So I don't think I'm gonna get anything more again, right? No, nothing. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. You must find the book at all costs. Some of the others have already started looking for it, but you have connections that could quicken the process. Yeah. These others are the ones who were killed. But it's not showing up now, but we pieced that together anyway. Yeah. Sometimes you still wonder, but yeah. So, two things. So, last week, at the end of last stream, so, a week ago, we talked to this gentleman here, Jacob, right? Remember that conversation? And in talking to him, he talked about how there was this prophecy of the lineage. So, Darkness Within 2, Dark Lineage, right? The lineage of our character, Howard Loreid, his lineage, going back to a guy named Mr. Nathanael, is all tied to some prophecy. Nathanael knew that through his lineage, somebody would return. Yeah, exactly. And so because through the lineage, somebody would return, we're part of the lineage, so we're the return. Okay, so first night, we stayed in Arkham. Yeah, there's the child too, that's right, yeah. Yep, the child that wasn't human, and yep. And the secret meetings, and Ingrid got locked away and died. Yep, all that. Yep. Okay, so the first night we stayed in Arkham. I don't know if you watched that stream. I don't remember which ones you missed or not. But first night staying in Arkham, excuse me, we had initially a nightmare, or kind of more like a weird vision type thing. Woke us up in the night, and we went through that. After we came out of that. And so we were fully awake. We sneaked outside to the landing at the top of the stairs, down the stairs, and in where we were hiding kind of in the shadow still. Down the stairs at the bottom, there were a couple of gentlemen saying, we know he's here, blah blah blah. We haven't been able to find him yet, blah blah blah. And so the clue was they know I'm here. Okay, or that they know about. And then the end of last time, we got the clue from Jacob here about the lineage. So I combined those two and ended up getting this one here. They were expecting me. Yes, they definitely knew that I would come here. They're waiting for me all this time. So, because Nathanael was involved with the cult way back then, and he had this prophecy thing about his lineage that I'm assuming he shared with other people in the cult, or they ended up finding out by reading his diary or something. Anyway, they knew about the prophecy that he had about his lineage. So they knew I was here. The first night it was obvious. And then they had the prophecy about the lineage, and so those two together say, yeah, now it's obvious that they were expecting me. Okay, well then just right about at the time you hopped on, or you said hello, but it was like maybe a minute or two before that, I was able to successfully combine. So in the hotel where we're staying, okay, we had read in that hallway. So you have the opening room with all the tables where beer and meals and all that, because it's a pub, right? So that opening, or an inn, depending on what period of history you're talking about, right? It's kind of that type of environment. And then from that front counter where he would serve drinks or whatever, if you go left, you go through the door and there's that hall that goes to the rooms, okay? So in that hallway, there's a table. There was a little newspaper article on that table, in the drawer of the table, I think. And in that, we had, among other things, I think maybe it was the only thing, in fact, but we underlined a clue that said that there were bodies in the woods found. That whoever they were, we didn't know, but there have been reported there were bodies in the woods, in the forest, which that old building we had been to for several streaming times, that building was on the border of the forest. So there were bodies found in that forest, okay? So that was one clue we got, was that there were bodies around there, okay? And then there was another one down here saying Drayden was dead, right? No, not Drayden was dead. Drayden was dead, but it was, Drayden was going to report back and let his superiors know what he'd found or whatever. Okay, so I combined those two clues, and we got this one, help for Drayden. I think these are multiple people mentioned in the letter. That's the letter we were just looking at. We didn't have any new clues, but they mentioned the others will also help look for this, but you have sources that might help you find it faster. So it was like talking to Drayden, saying, hey Drayden, you have sources that might help you find it faster, but in the meantime, these other guys with you are going to also be looking for it to try to speed things up just in case. So those are the dead bodies in the forest, were the other people who were, at least some of the other people who were trying to help find whatever it was Drayden was looking for. Okay. I found on Drayden the ones who came here because of Drayden's report. Oh, sorry. I think these are the people mentioned in the letter I found on Drayden. The ones who came here because of Drayden's report. There's this gap, and so I thought it was a different sentence. Yep. So, Drayden's report, he talked about that, right? We just talked about that. And so he's saying that's these people. And then, so, because of that, Drayden's dead, and all those people who were listed in the report were dead because the bodies were found in the forest. When we went up to that old building on the way, like if we were outside, we'd hear all that howling and stuff of the wolves. I'm assuming wolves killed them. Although it's very possible, because we're dealing with more like, Lovecraftian type ambiance and everything, it's very possible that something else was about and killed them in the forest as well, right? We already know there are supernatural insects that were down below that cause madness in people and will eventually eat you over time, right? Like that one body we found down below where the guy basically, his flesh was all stripped off because the insects had their way with him. So anyway, the point is, those are from another dimension. I mean, they're from Africa. They're from another dimension, came out of went from the other dimension to our dimension. Somewhere in Africa is where they came out, and then they were retrieved from Africa and brought. Anyway, so those are from another dimension. So it's possible, very possible, there's something else from another dimension in the forest, or it could just be the wolves. We don't know. But the point is, this last thing, I believe I'm safe for now. But what killed them and why? So we don't know what killed them. But we think they're all dead. And then Drayden was the one told about them, and Drayden's dead as well. So all of them are probably dead. All of those people who were gathering clues are probably gone. So, for now, we're safe. We'll change, of course, but for now, we're safe. And this matches also, by the way, because I believe, if I remember right, the article said that they were killed by something that didn't look like an animal. But it also didn't seem like something a human would do. So they're not sure what killed them. I think the authorities would have assumed it probably was like some kind of tool, like maybe they used some kind of, I don't know, an unusual thing. Maybe they used like a farm implement or something. Farm implement that one normally wouldn't use, and so it left a weird mark because you're not used to seeing that type of wound to know this is what killed them. They're probably thinking something along those lines, I would guess. I mean, unless some of the authorities are in the cult, and then of course they think otherwise, obviously. But for our part, I think it's safe to assume it's probably not human or normal animal. Whatever it is. Yeah, you missed Faux Fox last week. We summoned Wolfgang Schneider. Maybe. We summoned something. And it made us fall unconscious, and somebody pulled us out from the chamber. Apparently, we're able to drag us back up to the upper level, even though we would have had to go through all the insects and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so. I already did these, right? No. What is it? It's not that. Not the Chant of the Worm either, I don't think. Yeah, I think I said this before, but poor Mr. Braunbell, right? Mr. Braunbell, that was that manor we went to relatively near the end of the game. So not the big manor where Clark Field was, where we were a good chunk of the game. But that other one where we like coming up the steps, there was the Raven on the side, outside the steps. But anyway, you go inside and there were the statues and the nice paintings and all that stuff. And there'd been a ladder that went down. And then we had... There were things in the attic we were examining and all that. Anyway, that was that place. Mr. Braunbell, I think, did not realize what he was getting himself into. We already have talked to Jacob, so I don't know if that's really going to combine with something or not. So on the gate talks about a black abyss. It says we don't know, but we will end up remembering. So wonder if that means if we go back to the bookseller, if he'll have more. Maybe if we tell him what Jacob told us, he can say, "Oh yeah, that sounds like," and then here's this book, and you can read it and take it with you, or I'll tell you about it or something. I don't know. Trying to think if there's any reason to go back to the old building. Probably not. Sounds like when I was rescued from there, like from the encounter of summoning Wolfgang Schneider, it sounds like we need to avoid the old building now, is what it sounds like. The note we had found. Well, it's right actually here, I think, right? Is this the note? No, that's the map. Hang on. We still have the note on us, I believe. Yeah, here. Yeah, it's the German that you confirmed translation of last time, right? Basically, we need to, don't turn back, right? Don't come back, leave here, get, exit, go away. So, I don't think we should go back to the old building. So we got the clue, but I don't think that we're going to really do anything with that, at least for the time being, for sure, now. Let me think. Madness. We don't really have, even though we had the conversation with Jacob, we don't really have a clue to combine this with. I was thinking if we would have gotten a clue from Jacob along the lines of what he was talking about with that other child, where the other child wasn't really human and stuff. Maybe we could, but I don't have that in my clues here, so I can't combine it with that. I'm trying to remember if we got a clue for the tunnels, the Roman tunnels that they had digged up. I feel like... Maybe that's another clue, though. Oh, am I not leaving? Oh, what am I supposed to do? Okay. Well, it's not the end of the world, I think, because I can probably just use the map. But it is weird that it won't let me. What was I thinking of doing? Going to the inn. Yeah. Because... Interesting. Examine its candle, yeah. Okay. What? I wonder if he has anything more for us. Probably not, but maybe.
I heard some unpleasant rumors about a mansion outside of town. What can you tell me about it?
It's out in the wilderness, about 30 miles from here. I've never been there, but I remember an incident that occurred right here in this inn. I was just a kid at the time. One night, an old woman with a dark veil covering most of her face came from that house and stayed here a short while, until she was forcefully taken back by a group of old men with fake beards. Nobody knows who they were, but it was obvious she had secretly escaped from them. I think she was waiting for the train to take her away from here. But they took her back against her will. I was very young then, but I remember it like it was yesterday. When she saw them, she shrieked with fear. Some words were in Latin, I think. We never heard of her again. I've also heard some very bad stories about barbaric rites that take place at particular times of the year. That's why nobody wants to visit that house. It's empty now, but most of the people are afraid even to go too near it anymore.
Very interesting. How can I get there?
It's impossible to get there on foot at this time of year. Roads will be covered with snow, and it would be too dangerous to walk through the woods full of hungry wolves. I think maybe Herbert could help you. He passes near it because of his work.
What room did the lady from that mansion stay in?
I can't remember precisely, but she stayed in one of the rooms on the first floor.
Where can I find this Herbert?
You're in luck. He's right back there, eating alone.
Thanks.
If you want, I can speak with Herbert for you. He doesn't like to speak with strangers, but I'm sure I can persuade him.
That would be great.
Yeah, I should have. I don't know if I can, but if you can, I should have turned the radio off before I talked to him. I didn't think about that. The gate, sinister Victorian mansion that stands silently alone in the wilderness. Oh, we must be at the mansion, I guess. Ah, and this is the mansion from the very opening before you get into the main game menu, where you have press any key to continue or something. Oh no! This place. I remember it vaguely. I visited here several times when I was a child. Yeah. It's a mansion, so, you know. It's got mansion-type stuff. This is my grandfather's house. I never liked it here. Is this the place I'm searching for? What is the connection between these strange experiences and my family? I need to figure out what is happening. Day 2, arrival at the place known as the Gate. Pull back the veil. Retrieve the whereabouts of the mansion named The Gate. Achievement unlocked. February 22nd, 2012. With a turret. Yeah, it's his family's ancestral home. Well, we knew, like I said, I think Nathanael probably was his grandfather. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming. Can't leave here on foot. It's a long way to walk and especially dangerous in this kind of weather. I need a vehicle. Right, so we're stuck here until we find a vehicle, if we even find one. Plus, obviously, we have things to explore while here. I just was going to see if it was an option. Like if I need to go between things, try to combine clues or whatnot, but I guess not. Examine. Ivy climbing the old and crumbling walls of this desolate place. All of that is, okay. It's all the same, okay. More to see while I'm going through here. This is the door to the cellar. It's locked, but the lock seems weak from rust. With some effort, I think I could break the lock easily. But, Faux Fox, like we were talking about earlier, Robin's probably down there, so that might be a mistake. Okay, so those are our options kind of on that side. Whoops. This looks like a garage door, but I can't do anything. In the opening, you know, where you have press a key to continue and you're not in any kind of real menu or anything, this stuff just goes to a dead end, like it just stops you. You can't do anything to the doors here. But because we're actually in the game now, we might be able to do something more. Yeah, there's this. Grab that, an old looking shovel. Awesome. Digging will be useful, I think. Locked. Probably will go in there at some point. This is more and more like Scratches now too, right? Because we're at this mansion trying to investigate creepy stuff that's going on here at whatever point. Interesting. There's nothing off to the side there yet. Still not, I mean, it's a lot different from Scratches too. I'm not saying this is it. Nobody come at me later about this. I'm not saying this is the same as Scratches, obviously. There's a back porch of some kind, or it's more like a fairly low balcony, I guess? No, it's basically a porch. It just doesn't go all the way to the ground. I mean, because it connects from the steps up, right? So it's basically got to be a porch. Okay, what's down this way? There's not a run in this. I think if your character needs to run, there'll be a cutscene and your speed will be increased. But there's no like shift or anything like that that will make me go faster. Is the river frozen over? I would assume so, with all the snow, but I haven't actually looked closely to see. I'm not sure, Mama. That's a good question. I should see if that is, just in case. Maybe there'll be something in the river, like in the ice or something at some point. Waiting for the old guy to say the kid's name. I know. Yeah. His name was Robin. No! I suddenly have, like, mad flashbacks. I'm super panicking. Can't do anything with that now. Maybe not ever. Let's see. What's this? Cover on the well is locked, and there's a strange mechanism here. Never seen this cover before. When I was last here, there was a simple metallic cover on the lid. Why would someone want to change the cover of a disused well? No. Covers on the well is locked, and there's a strange mechanism here. No, that's the same as before. Okay, so all of that's the same. Okay. So at some point we'll probably do something with a well as well. Did not intend for that. Wishing well, of course, or a well for water, rather. Yeah. Yeah, I was telling Faux Fox, it's interesting. You play enough games over time, right? And you'll start seeing similarities between games. So there's the tie with the kid who is not human, but they calmed him down after he left, went psychotic, I guess, right? And that has some echoes of Robin from Scratches, the kid trapped below in the chambers below. It also has some ties to Samuel Gordon from Black Mirror, who had been, I guess, more or less stable, left home. People started dying, returned home, and finished killing people. So he killed people while he was away, as well as once he returned. All that whole time, he was killing people, which obviously is messed up. So it's like his departure maybe broke him mentally a little bit, which might have been what happened with the kid here, the no-name kid in this case. We don't know what the kid's name is in this game. We haven't got that clue yet. Okay, so nothing. I can examine this. More ivy. Description, fine. It's not really useful, but I suppose having it on both sides, first of all, it doesn't hurt anything, and secondly, it's good in case like I wouldn't have gone to the other side. I would not miss that there's the ivy on the walls. Probably not important at any point either, but it could be. The entrance is locked. Yeah, I had the shovel. I wonder if that's what they're thinking I'm going to use to break the cellar door lock. Maybe. Let's see if that's what is assumed. Oh, I also had this before and I never ever used it for anything. I don't know if I'm expected to use this at some point later or not. Lever, maybe? You try something else. So we're not going to use a lever, which is something you use to pull in a pulling motion as a pry bar. Okay. I still don't know what that lever's supposed to go to. Never did end up finding it over at the old building. That should work. Of course it will. The lever won't work, but the shovel will, obviously. Down in the dumps, enter the mansion cellar. Well, I could tell you I'm not a fan of this right now. Definitely not a fan. Yeah, I can leave. So if I find a key or something of the kind, I can maybe use that to open that outside building. This fabric smells like mold. Fantastic. I'm so glad that I could move that just to find out that it smells like mold. How did I do what? Which thing are you asking about? Not sure what you're wanting to know. Oh, we got into the cellar. So, here, really fast, I'll show you. So, there was the main entrance, and then there's this. The main entrance is right over there. So here there's this, like a garage. There's a side entrance that's locked, but there are cellar doors here. So we used the shovel that we found to pry open the cellar doors, bust the old lock on it. That's it. Nothing super complicated. It was pretty easy. One of the few things in this game that's easy, because like I'm always like, now how was I supposed to know that that was going to be a clue or whatever? Go. That's it. I don't know if that's supposed to be a closet. I feel like that's a door. It's like a hallway, so let's not do that yet. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Examine that. Stacks of very old newspapers. I see one with the date of February 16th, 1984. Okay. Okay, I don't know. I guess it's just trying to help us storyline-wise place when things happened or something, maybe? I don't know. Let's move some of this stuff over there. Oh, I don't want to do that because if I need to leave, it'd be probably good not to have stuff in my... That's probably good. This. Top. Something like that. Just getting stuff out of the way so that I can push pull. Okay. You. What do I do with this? Hang on. Let's grab this. Like that. This. That. Let's push pull you. That. So it's not in the way of the stairs to come out, and also not in the way of like the closet. This, I guess we'll do like that's fine. Okay. Yeah, and another door. Is that a doorway out? It's hard to say what this other stuff does. It feels like all of this is one giant cellar with just a whole bunch of rooms, but it also feels like these could go to upstairs or something. The problem is there's so many rooms, there could be stuff in the other rooms. Since this is not just solid point and click, there's actually moving as well. I feel like at some point I might have to run, and that's not going to be a great thing. Just in the off chance. Nope, don't stop. There. Just in the off chance something tries to come through there, maybe I can somehow glitch it and just hold it off temporarily. Well, I thought I was going to be able to pull this. I guess not. Nope. Cover the generator's gas tank. Yeah. And that's what I was saying earlier is I have this that I got up at that old building, this lever. Lever just naturally is used in some kind of a prying action, right? Maybe it's a flimsy lever or something though, but I was thinking maybe I'd use that. Nope, apparently not. So, oh. No, it's the front, I guess. Okay. Gas. Okay, tank has some gas in it. Generator should work now. I don't know what the point of doing the generator is, but it's on now. lock is broken. I can't open it. Okay. Use the lever on this. I don't know when that lever is going to take place. I would have expected to use it over at the old building, but apparently no. I don't even get the flashing thing, so I don't think I can use any object on that even. But just this way, I guess. Well, nothing angry came, so I guess we'll move this and proceed. The shells here. The sound does have to cut off at a certain point. That's an awfully quiet generator. The generators normally are pretty friggin' loud. Like if I stay with my dad, he has a generator to power all his stuff. If I'm staying in the trailer, then I can't hear it. But if I were to stay like the generator's here, I go around the corner, but I'm still outside, I could totally hear it. And sometimes it makes it hard to hear on the phone even too, so. Old time radio, but can't interact with it at all. Whoop, gosh dang it. I'm not trying to. Could you move back out of the way, please? Thank you. Okay. Make me think I'm gonna get attacked by. There's gonna be a grunt or ghoul or something from one of the Amnesia games. Really? Oh, it just shut on, so okay. As long as I'm not locked out. That way more. Oh, and then that goes upstairs. Okay. So we have a way to go upstairs now. The layout here does remind me a little bit of was it Perception, where you play the blind girl and you have to like tap to see things? The layout of this place reminds me somewhat of that. It's very kind of claustrophobic while also winding a bunch. It's very interesting. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Not sure what you would comment, though, but... Whoa! Hi, Ragdoll. That was very weird. Okay, well, I guess whatever. Metallic Ankh? Toys and tools do mix. Combine elements to get a secret Ankh. Combine elements? What are you talking about? I didn't combine anything. I moved something and then opened a chest. That's a weird description. If you do the right combination of stuff... Yeah, I didn't combination anything. What else? Wine cellar, I guess? Interesting. Smells like a laboratory here. I think these bottles contain chemical substances. Oh, so it's not wine. It's chemicals. Ooh. Those automatically shutting behind me creep me the hell out. And this thing not supposed to shut on its own. Lock is broken. That goes back to that first room. Goes around and back to that first room. Okay, so we've come full circle. The question is, do I see anything in any of these rooms that I've missed? If not, then we're just going upstairs. But seem to be anything up above. And I could probably get away with doing something like this. Hang on. Okay, and then come through here. And that's not going to be tall enough, I don't think. But it might help me. It might be enough, just enough. If I jump on this. Yeah, there's nothing up above there or over there. So there's literally nothing in here other than the clue that it's a laboratory of some kind. Okay. Nothing with a clock. Shelves, did I miss anything? It's all shadow. I don't think so. I'm gonna say no. Nope. These don't even push pull, so I'm not getting anything from there. Can't open that. And I don't see anything there. Yeah, so I think we're good for this room as well. Doesn't seem like there's anything else that I've missed. Go back out here. What if that generator powers lights upstairs or something? Because I don't know, but it feels like the stuff down here already was lit well enough. A rusty old bicycle. That's it. Okay. Seems same, yeah. That's just a pedal. Foot pedal. The door to the laboratory. That's back out. I don't think there's anything over here. I just moved the boxes out of the way. What's this? Oh, that says that that's moldy or whatever, yeah. Okay, so I think we're going back to the stairs and up. Wine for future generations. Not really. I think that it didn't even end up being a clue in the sense of going into my think bar or whatever. But we did learn that there was a laboratory going on, so there were experiments of some kind. Ties into the overall narration or the backstory of things going on here or whatever. Not super useful, but interesting. And there was the gas that we found to put in the generator and start the generator. I'm guessing, like I said, I don't know, but I'm guessing the generator might power some lights upstairs, but it might have just been lights down here. It's hard to say. I really am not sure. Smells strange here. Oh, I know. Oh. Harmal. Oh, Harmal. That's the stuff we smelled at Clark Field's place, and we ended up smelling in that wooden sculpture. Strong has a Harmal smell in the air. Harmal is a plant that has entheogenic properties. It is used in some regions of the world as an air and mind purifier. Yeah. Yeah, given that they're like the light over here is on, for example, I'm assuming the generator is what we were mainly doing downstairs. Several doors. So this farthest one by this cabinet, set of shelves, whatever you want to call it, this dish rack, something or other. Anyway, by this. This one here is the one that goes back downstairs. The others are all this level, as far as I know. Stop it. Stop it with the noises. I hate you. I hate you so much. Okay. Bottles similar looking to the old building. I'm not saying they're supposed to be the same thing. Could just be those are the only bottles you can get in the area or something. But it is interesting to note just because with the Harmal smell, this being tied, like this being called the gate and being like part of the prophecy and stuff, all ties to the cult, right? And all that stuff over at the old building was cult stuff. So that's kind of bringing it all together. Oil or old stove covered with the rust of passing years. Yeah. Yeah, that's all the same. So we're not going to get a pan and bash somebody over the head with it, potentially. Got it. It is so dirty and smells of rotten food. After all these years, it's odd that the smell is still this strong. That's because there's something friggin' here. That's what I'm saying. This is not going to be empty. Why would you assume a place like this is empty? Just because people say it was abandoned or nobody goes there doesn't mean nobody actually goes there. Key for the general doors of the mansion. Yeah, so we can unlock the front door now if we want. I think. Or it's more like a skeleton key and unlocks like all the doors kind of generically. That's possible too. Okay, so these are all just examined. Nothing. Why? What? Okay, it's just a random thing I can open, but doesn't actually do anything for us. Alright, awesome. I mean, that's a thing, I suppose. Let's close that. Close that. I don't need these open and getting in my way. Nothing in the cans or the bottles. Nothing up there. Oops, I meant to do that. Can't really tell. Nothing on top. Okay. Close these. We got the incense or harmal. Small pot with a lot of incense sticks in it. They're filling the air with the sweet smell of harmal. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the other thing. Like the food smells like food smells rotten after all these years. You wouldn't smell the rot even. It would have all just gone away, worn away with time. You should not have active incense smell going. Somebody or something is already here, obviously. The fact that he's not said it, like, or thought it, surprises me because it's so blatantly obvious. Maybe that's why they're like, well, everybody can tell, so they just didn't have him say anything. That's possible. Ugh, the smell is unbearable. Everything in here must be rotten. I guess it is everything. There's nothing in there other than saying that it's rotten. Alright. Checked out, I think, pretty much this entire room. So let's just start methodically from... So this is the door to downstairs. So let's just start one by one. Okay, this reminds me right here. This reminds me of Among the Sleep. Inthia what? Yeah. Do you remember that game, Fofox? That was a great game. I love that one. Lock is broken. You can't open it. Okay, so that's going to be probably just from some other room. Well, that's probably going to close on me, though. I'll not stay open. Because you don't like to let me see where I've already been. Oh, stairs up. Damn. This place is pretty big. It is a mansion, so I guess it makes sense, but... That's a lot of exploring to do. See, I was kind of hoping with something, but the thing is, it's a mansion, right? So obviously I shouldn't. It was a dumb hope. But I was kind of hoping this was something like the old building where there wasn't a huge number of things to explore. So I could hopefully find more clues more quickly and put more of the stuff together. Because I'm really interested to see where this story is going. This just also goes back out to the kitchen, right? Yeah, that's this one. Okay, so those are exactly the same room. Those two. Okay, that's this other side that we didn't do yet. Minus the stairs, of course. Locked. There we go. Now, I'm not going to go out. Well, maybe I will, and then I'll come back in. But the point was just to unlock that. Okay. Who the hell came this far in the game? Really? You don't think very many people have explored this far in the game? I'd be surprised there are a lot of people that didn't get this far in the game, honestly. I mean, putting certain clues together obviously is more difficult, but I mean, it just depends on the player. But I would guess there'd be a lot, right? It depends, right? I fail obviously to find a lot of the clues and stuff, but I come from a point in like a history of point and click games where I have to do a lot of putting clues together and stuff. Those and also mystery games. And so because I have that history, I am like really locked in to try to figure it out, right? So yeah. Yeah, but all I'm saying is because I have that history, I assume there are other gamers who have a similar history or at least somewhat of the same type of history. So those types of gamers there are probably a lot of them who have done that. That said, I don't know. There are people who do get frustrated easily or who, just get confused and can't figure something out and so finally give up. There's always that too. So I definitely would not say I think all the players who played this would go the whole way. I'm positive there are people who give up. But there are enough people I would assume would go far enough that it wouldn't be. And I think on Steam, I think this has either positive or very positive, I think, for the player ratings. So I don't think it would have that kind of a score if it was disliked hugely. In fact, I'm curious. Hang on one sec. Let me just do this really fast. Okay. Mostly positive. So not very positive, but mostly positive. Which still isn't bad, right? That's a little above average. So you'd think it'd be much worse than above average if nobody really made it, right? That said, it is just a little above average. So either the way they go about things in the game, like the mechanics, which could be a big part of it, or other aspects of it people didn't like. I'm assuming a lot of the mostly positive, a lot of the negative feedback is probably I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, like how to do the thing. And to be fair, there were places where I had to look them up, but I mean, you kind of expect that with any kind of a mystery or whatever anyway. There are going to be clues you can't put together. This just happens to be one of those, this and its predecessor, the prequel, happen to be games that do that a lot. They have like, what about these two clues? You're like, why would anybody think to put those two clues together? But, they're like, well, maybe. An old-fashioned radio, don't think it still works. Okay. Cannot open those. Can't even go farther here. It's not a huge deal, I guess, but it's a little odd choice to put an invisible wall here. It's like, don't go in there, little recess there. Oh, why? Because you fall through the world. Oh, well, just put an invisible wall instead of fixing the bug. But some more Harmal. lot of empty closets. One of these is going to have something, though. That's why I keep opening them. You know one of them is going to have something eventually. Okay. It's really kind of buggy. That push-pull thing is a bit buggy because I let go of the mouse button, and sometimes it's still hanging on. Like, detecting that I press the button is still lingering for some reason. That's the friggin' clock. That startled me. Some old vases. I was not expecting the clock to go. That's pretty funny, actually. Ooh, a lounge or a living room or whatever you want to call it of some kind. I remember this fireplace very well. I used to lay in front of it and fall asleep till someone came and woke me up. Morhar Mall. Oh, that's the same fireplace, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. I assume I'm like when I look up a walkthrough, I like to do a text one first of all because it could take me straight to where I want, but also depends on the one. So sometimes it doesn't work out, but usually, like if it's on Steam, for example, I can find one that will break it into sections. This part of the game, this part of the game, this part of the game, and even sometimes into subsections like this room, this room, this room. And so if there's the one thing, just the one thing I want a clue on because I can't figure the one thing out, that helps me avoid spoilers of other stuff because I just get the one thing. That's when if I look up on a walkthrough, that's what I always try to do is just get the one thing. Whippoorwill. Whippoorwills, the source of some horrible legends, generally nest in open fields near woods. The bird gets its name because of its call, which sounds like whip-poor-will. Because the whippoorwill's song sounds ethereal and haunting, there are many myths told about them. Some say the bird can detect upcoming storms, and others believe it is a sign of trouble if one is seen near your house. But a particularly bizarre legend claims that the bird can sense the soul of a dying person. Inhabitants of rural areas are often afraid of the whippoorwill's singing, accepting it as a bad omen. It is commonly believed that if the bird sings near a residence, it is a sign of approaching death. It is also said that when a person is on his deathbed, whippoorwills group together nearby to sing until the person dies. After the soul departs the body, the birds take flight to try catching it as it leaves. If the soul can escape them, the whippoorwills fall quiet and soon disperse. If the soul can't escape, they sing louder than ever in a triumphant manner. Damn, that's morbid and depressing. Yeah. Okay, so I don't think I'll probably. It's probably not very likely that I'll find something here, but maybe. Since I've got it, I mean, you know. Said the bird can detect upcoming storms. Sign of trouble near your house. Well, I don't know if that's... No, it sounded like a caw. It sounded like that would be a raven, not a whippoorwill. I heard a bird in the distance, but I think pretty sure that's supposed to be a raven. Can't believe if the bird sings near a residence, it's a sign of approaching death. Also said when the person is on his deathbed, a group together nearby to sing until the person dies. After the soul departs the body, this sentence or this phrase to hear. I don't think I'm going to get anything from this book, but since I've got text to potentially underline, let's try and see. Yeah, nothing. Okay, well, maybe at some point that'll be useful, and maybe that never will. It doesn't really matter. That's fine, too. Oh. But I don't have a key for this, right? I use that one key for the front door. I don't think I have another key. I have a lever. No. Gee, I wonder why. I don't remember exactly, but this is the present my father gave me when I was a kid. I also know. Yeah, no. It's locked, yeah. I mean, the big keyhole kind of signals that it's locked, right? Okay, so at some point, we'll open that, I guess. Yet another closet with absolutely bupkis in it. Fantastic. Ah, that time I was ready for you, stupid clock. I heard the winding before went. Okay. There's a light up there? We're running into something when we get up there. That's not great. Okay. So these are the first two doors here. Well, the second and third door, because the other one, again, goes back down to the cellar. So we got these two doors as well, and then we'll go upstairs. Oh, or a hallway with a bunch of other doors. So maybe we'll do these other doors as well. Awesome. No, that's great and stuff. Okay, let's do this for first. Oh, garagey. Oh. Okay. I remember this car. Once my grandfather took me on a trip in this when we were staying here for a few days during one of my summer vacations. It looked really good back then. Oddly enough, it looks like it might still work. Maybe I can start it. Are you kidding right now? Did I need to save that gas and use it in the car? I hope not. I have no way out of here. I wish I would have saved that gasoline or that petrol. Great. Wooden ladder looks very weak. Bust it and use wood or something? Ah, screwdriver? Yeah. Old and rusty screwdriver. Awesome. Okay, and then this. Close. We've got a hammer. Really strong sledgehammer. Nice. I like it. These are all rusted. Here, there are various tools here, mostly for simple housework. I think these were used for repairing the car. Judging from the smell, I think this can contains thinner. Ooh, paint thinner for what? Maybe it's just a descriptive thing. Wooden box for storing screws and nails, various sizes and shapes, but I see only a few remain. I'm not going to take them, I guess. It's all examined, so it looks like no. Okay. Tires for the car. Although, given that they do a lot of this in like British accents, right? Most of the people speak with British accents, and there's like labor is spelled L-A-B-O-U-R and stuff. I'm surprised they did not spell tire with a Y. But I think in Britain, though, it's optional. I think both T-Y-R-E and T-I-R-E are equivalent in their spelling. Like it's just another, kind of like some people spelling gray, G-R-A-Y or G-R-E-Y, depending. I think that's true, but I'm not 100% for sure. Okay, then this one is not the garage. What's this? It is locked. It's not somewhere we're going right now. Okay. Last door here, for now, also locked. Okay. And that clearly was not, that key we had before clearly is not a skeleton key, because I used it up. Like, it disappeared from my inventory, and I cannot open the other locked doors. Okay, up we go. No, not stairs there. It's just a little landing here. So a hallway to the left looks like, and then a hallway to the... Nope, not even a hallway to the right. It's just... mini cutscene. I hardly remember this place. I guess we're walking down the hall. I remember how I ran around in this hall. Something great. I used to stay in one of these rooms when my family visited. I think this is it. Our room or something? No. Like the family life. Yeah, it's our room, I think. It looks like a bed. Yes, I remember this room very clearly, and it has hardly changed since my childhood. Okay. Automatically, give me a second here. I'm gonna back up slightly and see what the crap that actually said. Let me go here. Why? There we go. Let me see what that first sentence he said is. Might not be important. Didn't do a clue or anything. Oh, I remember how I ran around in this hall and often fell down when the carpet slipped. Okay, so now we're all caught up. Okay. I just wasn't sure if that'd be potentially important or not. Yeah, like I said, I've seen... I do a lot of... Well, a lot. From time to time, I do... what do you call it? Like pro bono sometimes. But I do a lot of freelance editing for people from various parts of the world. And so sometimes I'll do somebody from Britain. So I've seen that spelling. So I knew that it was an optional spelling. And when I do proofreading, of course, if I see something that looks weird to me, I'll look it up and find out. And so I see, oh yeah, no, you can do Tyres. So it's fine. It's not a spelling problem. And like I said, it's a similar thing to me. I think of it as a similar thing like spelling gray, Gray, or Grey. It's basically the same. Tires is standard American English spelling, whereas tires is the British English spelling. Yeah. Although, like I said, I'm not positive though. I might be mistaken on this. I think in Britain you can also spell it with an I, but not usual. It's like atypical. I think. But yep. Yeah, tires is definitely the American spelling. Tyres is not in America. Nobody in America does that unless you're just off the boat from Great Britain or something. Literally nobody in America does that. So I can tell you that for sure. I didn't know about, like, I've lived in other places internationally. Like I've lived in the Netherlands, and lived, I mean, it sounds like I lived in a single place, like I bought a house or something. I have lived in the Netherlands, actually. Did that for a few years. But I've also visited, like, Germany and like, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland. I visited those places, but I've not actually even visited the UK. So. Oh, yeah. These were the flowers I grew, or at least what remains of them. It seems there's nothing left alive in this house. I don't even hear any sounds made by insects or mice roaming around. Yeah, and yet somebody conveniently started burning incense that hasn't burned out by the time you got here. So there is something going on here, obviously. I doubt I can sleep comfortably in this house, but I don't have any choice but to try. Oh, I didn't realize we were supposed to go to sleep. I was going to continue to explore. Damn. I hope I didn't miss stuff. Nightmares again, probably, right? That's kind of the theme of the first game and this game, is we get these nightmares, night terrors, whatever you want to call them. I was going to say, that's us. Yeah. Little bit. I mean, we are obviously, it's obviously moving without me using my hands. So kind of, a little bit, technically a cutscene. Not lengthy though. I feel it. I am being called again. From that well, something constantly calling my name. Something very old and powerful. I cannot resist it. I have to go. 27 years ago, on Christmas Eve. Oh, so this is Memory Lane. Oh, damn, okay. Can I do anything with this? It zoomed in, but then said, yeah, I don't think so, buddy. You thought you were going to do a puzzle or something. You foolish, foolish player. Zaxor, you imbecile. Yeah, I don't see. No, that's nothing, apparently. Okay. Yeah. And that's the other thing too, right? We went, before even entering the house, we went out to the well and saw that it was covered with some kind of weird seal. Maybe that seal was put because we went out to the well and almost died. Obviously, we didn't die because this is 27 years earlier, so we obviously have survived since then, but we had some kind of an encounter, I assume. No, I must see its call. I can clearly hear it calling me from below the well. Yeah. My drawings. I've drawn my parents and my grandfather. Ooh, is that the middle guy the grandfather? If that's the grandfather. That's freaking scary, dude. Oh, whoops. I was going to try to examine that. Maybe I can't, though. Yeah. Yeah, that's just backing out. I cannot... But that looks like, to me, that looks like that's the well, and then something around the well. I don't see anything here, though. Nice demon eyes there, kid. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, nothing to grab. Well, I can examine this. What's this? This is my favorite. Oh. Yeah, see, favorite, favorite, O-U. F-A-V-O-U-R-I-T-E, favorite. So, things like that. I knew that it was British spelling. Well, that's why I pointed out tires earlier. I was surprised. And would that candle burn the house down? Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to make of all this, because his ancestor clearly, like his grandfather or whatever he actually was, that Nathanael guy, clearly was like stuck with the cult. Like he got involved with the cult, and then when Isabel tried to run, he was like, tried to get away, he was like, come on guys, can we just let her go? I don't, she's having a hard time with everything. We need to just like let her calm down. She'll come back. They're like, you can't trust her. Go get her. Lock her away forever, for all time and all forever. And he's like, no, but I don't. And they're like, you better or we'll kill you, and blah, 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 or whatever. So he did, right? So clearly the family either was not nice, if maybe, because we don't know, maybe Nathaniel's father pressured him because he was also part of the cult. I don't know. Or the family was kind of living in fear once they'd stayed with the cult for a long enough time. It was like, we're trapped. Kind of like modern cults, right? Not ones that worship like, other dimensional creatures or something like these games have. But you think about like some of the cults that exist in Europe, United States, probably other places in the world too, Canada, but probably also like Asian stuff, I would assume. But you have some cults where like you're kind of, you come in, you agree to join, but once you join, you're not allowed to leave, right? That's kind of the whole freaky thing about cults is it's like once you join, you can't friggin' leave. It's like, yikes, right? Strange family, yeah. Yeah, lamp covers can be improved on, yeah. My friend, Crook. Crook? I mean, I don't see a crook on him. Is it his nose, maybe? Because it's kind of hooked? Maybe. There's not really... I mean, this is just like more... This is cool, right? This is kind of more of... What was Howard like as a kid kind of stuff. More than anything else. It's not anything we're going to take with us or use. We need to get to the well, but it doesn't say a time limit. Well, I do think he says he needs to hurry, but I don't think there's actually a time limit in the game. I think it's just, you know, I need to do it tonight kind of thing. This is the library. Grandpa spends most of his time here. I'd better not enter. Okay. It's locked. This is Grandma's room. Okay. Yeah. See, you'll notice our room is by Grandpa and Grandpa's library and Grandma's room. Why? Do we not have parents? Did our parents get killed? There's these kinds of things that make me go, what is going on? Right? Wanting to know more about his backstory and all of that type of stuff. Interesting. They've not yet, and they might not, maybe it's just kind of an interesting thing they inserted in the game, but they've not yet explained why that first night in our hotel room, we had a vision where we slid the dresser or vanity, it didn't really have a mirror, so the dresser to the side, and there was the hole near the floor, and we talked to the guy in the room across the room next to us, and then later talking to the innkeeper, we find out that guy had died in that room. And we're like, so we were talking to a ghost? But that's not been further explored, so I don't know if that's just here's some creepiness, have fun, or if that's actually supposed to somehow tie to the story. Guess they think they know too much, but if it's secrets they don't want out, doesn't sound good anyway. Yeah, no, obviously. Well, and like I said, like that's just kind of it's kind of the nature of cults, right? Is once you're in, you never can get out. That's like, okay. Like that, I mean, you know, other people could feel differently. You're entitled to your opinion and stuff. But that is a major difference I would put between a religion and a cult. A cult might be religious in nature, doesn't have to be though. But a cult, a religion, typically, well, there's an exception. Like if you join Islam, from all I have understood, I might be misunderstanding, but I believe if you join Islam, once you've joined, you cannot leave, or you're an infidel and you're like worthy of getting executed or something. That may or may not be true, but most of the time in a religion, if you don't like it anymore, you can just leave. That is not the case in a cult, like ever. As far as any cult I've ever heard of, people who survived, it's always like, you know, I couldn't leave. They wouldn't let me leave. I had to run away kind of thing, right? So, again, I don't know what is or isn't true. I've never been part of a cult. I've never been part of Islam, so I can't confirm or deny. I'm just saying things I've heard. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt, of course. I remember the fireplace very well. Used to lay down in front of it and sleep. Okay, we're a kid. Why are we... I remember this very well. That's weird, but fine. Why do you remember it very well that you used to lie down in front of it? Don't you still lie down in front of it? You're still a kid in this dream. But fine. None of this might be changed. But that's the thing, is I don't know. Since it's supposed to be the past, some of this might have been changed. See, there's like this. I can open this drawer. There's nothing in there, but I don't think I could open that before. Maybe I did, but I don't remember opening that. Okay, we can go out the front door maybe, assuming it's not locked. Don't see anything on the table that we can do anything with. I need something to light my way. Yeah, and I don't have that. So what am I going to use? Okay, maybe there will be a candle or something somewhere? I don't know. Was there something in here? There's a lamp. I can't really take that away with me. I don't see anything in here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty... I mean, for as much as, ew, gross, they're a cult, obviously that's true. But despite that, as far as cults go, it seems like they've done a good job of people not really knowing about it. But yeah. Yeah, and like Fofox says, obviously, if you're so focused on not allowing people to leave or not allowing information to get out, you have to start asking yourself some serious questions like, am I doing something I ought not to be doing? Right? I would guess there's nothing else over here, just like before, right? Yeah. Nothing. I need to go to the well, huh? I'm guessing I will not be allowed to go to the cellar or anything. Or the garagey. Well, let's see just in case. This is probably locked, I'm guessing. That's the ivy again, yep. And the cellar is going to be with a padlock. Because I'm a little kid, so I'm not used to shovel to bust it open. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're just going straight to the well. I can't go to any of the other rooms because he says I need a light source for that. And I didn't see any candles or anything anywhere, so I think we just have to deal with it. Oh, maybe... I don't know, it's probably locked also. If this is not locked in the past, while we're this little kid, then maybe we can get some light source out here from the shack. I'm going to bet no, but I'm going to go there anyway, just in case. Started watching Stepford Wives one late night years ago. Thought, yeah. And thought some movies that cold start are super cool like that. Yeah. They did a really good job with that. And the Stepford Wives, the whole point of that really, right, was to kind of portray a fictionalized world of cults, right? But obviously it's a little bit different, right? Because they're not normal, right? They've been changed, but the idea is still the same. It's very cult-like in its nature, right? How they are always responding with, yes, just however you want, husband, I love you and will do anything you wish because I'm your loving, devoted wife kind of a thing. You're like, even as a kid, I was like, super rolling my eyes like, Nobody acts like this. What the frick? I think I saw it when I was like 9 or something. I don't know for sure, but I think so. There was something where I got an examine something around here. And I went away. There we go. My father said my grandfather installed this cover to prevent me from going in again. I need its key. Okay, so I gotta find a key somewhere. Which probably means I gotta go in grandfather's library, maybe? Go back, all the way back to the house. I didn't see a key around near the well there. Why would you lock something up also, by the way? Let me say it this way. Why would you lock something? The point being to keep somebody out that normally would have access and have the key right there so they could just get access. If somebody normally has access to that and you put the key right there, it's like, are you really trying to keep them away from it? Is a remake? Yeah, there could be. I'm of the opinion, so this is kind of my opinion on stuff like that, okay? If you're going to remake something, you better be damn sure your remake is busted, right? If you just may do a so-so lukewarm, zip-zap garbage remake, you might as well just not waste the money. Because you're going to have things from the original, in most cases. I mean, if the original wasn't very good, that's different, I guess. But in most cases, if you remake something, it's because the original is really great and you're doing like an ode to the original, right? Well, you actually insult the original. You do a disservice, not an ode. You do a disservice to the original by making a lesser version of it. Like, it wasn't good enough. Also, let me show you my pile of garbage and you can enjoy that, quote unquote, enjoy that. It's like, no, right? Why even bother? Oh, well, yeah, I don't know either for Fox. I'm just saying, like, I would feel like I probably would not want to watch the remake. Any remakes from stuff I thought were good, like the original Stepford Wives movie, I've not been impressed with. Not specifically the remake of that, but just like movies like the Stepford Wives movie that I thought were done really, really quite well when they were done. Then making a remake, I'm usually not impressed by the remake. Yeah, okay, you say you better not enter. Where am I supposed to get the key? This magical key, just randomly get the key. I don't know where you think I'm going to get the key, but man. So I'm not going to enter. It's not going to be in my room. Why would the key be in my room? That doesn't make any sense. That's your favorite. I don't think this is a puzzle. If this was a puzzle, then I should be able to do something with it. But I don't get any prompts. Nope. See anything with that. Saw one of those Sunday Disney episodes in Australia that revolved around a little girl ghost ended up being in the well. Glowing little girl who died in the well. I can't say I'm familiar with that one, Monmouth. I don't think I've heard that one. Interesting. I really don't think I know. Okay, does this have a clue about the key? See anything resembling a key there or here. Nope. I don't know. Well, it's going downstairs again. I don't know. So this is locked. So can't go in there either. I didn't miss a key on the bottom here or anything, right? No. Sides. Nothing there. I don't have a lantern to see better either, so I just gotta have to poke around with whatever light is here. Which a lot of times is not much. I wouldn't imagine it'd be out on the table here because publicly accessible, right? But cool. With your host, Walt Disney, yeah. I can't open the fridge. Also cannot open these. In the present, I could, but I cannot open those in this memory. Or these. Well, okay, so one of these, I think only one of them I can open. But I don't remember now for sure. Oh. I could try going in the cellar, but he said he needed a light, right? Yeah. And that's back out to here. Where have I not looked? I thought I already looked everywhere. The key I found to the front door had been in one of these here. I think one of these. I can't open either of these. So I won't find the key there. There's somewhere outside I've not examined. I went over here before, but I wasn't looking to see if there's a key on the ground or something. Just more ivy stuff, yeah. Don't see anything there. Curiouser and curiouser. Not a key left in a lock over here or something, right? It's just open. Yeah. Yeah, I know. But I don't know where the key is, so I don't know how I'm supposed to get into the well. Like I said, I think it's stupid if you hold the key right by the place you're trying to keep somebody out of, but let's see if it's over there. If it's not there, I guess I'll look more by the side door or the cellar doors. Maybe? I'm trying to think where else I would look. I can't even go into Grandma's room or the library where Grandpa studies. So it's obviously not going to be one of those places if I'm not even allowed to try. Like he basically just says I shouldn't go in there. Okay, I mean, shouldn't, but that means wouldn't, apparently. looks like a key, though. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't have expected it to be there anyway. Trying to think where else we could try. Can't even look very high anyway to see, but there's nothing. That'd be kind of crappy though also, right? To put the key like randomly on something like this here where you're not going to see it. If it's like a bonus action, like an achievement or something, I could see that maybe. But I can't see doing that for the main game where you can't finish the game unless you look. That seems kind of strict, kind of too much from the game. It's not there. I can't go over either side here. Try to get in, so. Oh, I did get out here. Oh. Wonder if I'm not supposed to get out here, though. I probably just broke my game. I have a bad habit of doing this type of thing. Just in case. I don't want to potentially totally make it impossible to get back or whatever. I fall through the world or something, for example. That'd be bad. See, this just goes back out to the well. Shouldn't be... Yeah, there's not going to be a key out here. I can't imagine. It's just a big empty wasteland, basically, they created so that I could, or so that they could have scenery in the background as I travel around, right? I'm sure that's all this is. And the place I was trying to go, by doing the jumping I was doing, was not out here. It was up on the side to see if maybe I was supposed to go around or something, but that did not work, so clearly that is not what they intended. And oh, maybe I can get back this way? There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, because there's a wall. Oh, damn. There's a wall? So are you going to let me... If I come back over here to the where I just jumped initially, can I jump over on the edge here? Probably not, right? Nope. Awesome. Okay, let's not stay stuck on that. Let's go the diagonal way. There was, by the well, I believe there's another gap. I can probably just jump through that. Unless they have the wall there as well. In fact, you know what? Let's just... There's nothing out there. I'm just going to reload, and we're just going to turn around. Don't have to do all the walking. Okay, let's go back. The wind stopped. Ooh. For whatever reason, the wind sound effect did not continue. Strange. I wonder what would have killed that. Oh, I did make it over here. Which again is, I think, something they did not intend. Well, since I'm here. But I think I'm going to have to load and try to get back over by the well. It's looking to me like this is glitch territory. Oh my gosh, really? Ah, so stupid. If only I had saved before I even got into this glitch mode at all. So dumb. Although there might when I look at load games, I don't think there was an autosave. There we go. Okay, screw you. I'm saving on this side of that so I'm not stuck again. Save. Yes. Okay. So stupid. Okay. Anyway. Crying out loud. Okay. Yeah, key. The only thing I think is over there by the cellar door, maybe that side door. I can't think of where else the key would be. So if I don't find it there, then I guess I'm going to be looking that up too, because I don't know where the frick... I don't have any items on me. I don't have any thinky think panel because I'm a kid. I've not seen all these strange goings on yet. So... it's a garage. I should not be able to go in there. Yeah, I don't even get a prompt to open the door, so that's right. That's what I would expect. This was locked. There's not a key or something around here, though, right? That's the ivy. This stuff. No. Locked. I don't know. I don't see a place for the key, though. Which is weird. I wouldn't think it'd be this impossible to find. Where have I not looked? Other than the rooms that are locked, or Howard says I'm not gonna, or I ought not to go in there. Beyond those, where have I not? Can't even approach that. I've done the top drawer there, none of the others. Oh, that's the music that's in the first game too. This da-da-da music. That's from the first game. That's good. Good. Nice throwback. Nothing back here. There looks in these, right? Can't do anything with that. Does not look like there's anything on top of the mantle. think there has to be something up here. See, this goes off, but I can't do any interaction with the clock. So I don't know. I assume there's nothing to do with that. None of these drawers open. Nothing in the lamp. That's locked. Says, won't go in there, won't go in there. That's locked. I mean, at this point, it's got to be in my room, right? Something in my room? Although I don't know why you would ever put the key to keep me out in my room. That seems wrong. All right. Oops, I don't need to do that. But I'm gonna look it up. I'm not sure. I don't know where I'm supposed to find the friggin' key. Okay, mansion, outside, cellar. Oh, really? I thought I already tried that. Okay, apparently I can grab this candle. Oh, yeah, see, I thought I tried that already. Maybe I didn't get a prompt earlier because I didn't know yet that I would need to get in darker areas. Okay. Alright, so I can use this. Okay, so now I can go to the darker areas of the house and probably from there find a key I need. It's one of these, right? This room belongs to my grandfather. He always keeps it locked whether he is inside or away. Locked. So this one. Also locked. That's locked. Okay, so maybe we're going to the cellar. Maybe that's the thing we're doing. Oops, wrong one. Clicked it again, didn't mean to. This one. Okay, so let's do the cellar then, I guess. Cellar's locked as usual. Wait. Okay. What? Oh, now I can open these because I have light to see. I get it. What is... Oh, I should probably close that. Open. Doesn't look like anything on top. Okay. wonder if there's something out here that I couldn't really see because it was too dark previously. I could open those before. And that. What do with that? I didn't gain much, honestly, because these are both locked as well. There was... Oh, you know what? I bet it was in the cellars where we found the key before. Oh, no, here. Yeah, there's a key. There we go. Key to the locked cover on the well. There we go. That's what I needed. Okay. Obviously, the candle doesn't get blown by all the blowing wind out here. Now, to be fair, they make the blowing wind noise, but none of the trees are swaying. The fog is really kind of just hanging. Not really swirling or blowing away or anything, so maybe it's just the wind's like way over in the trees or something. I don't know. The forest instead. Right. I'm gonna do this. Cover that prevented me from entering has been removed now. Ruh-roh. It's a cutscene, just in case that's not clear.
Look down, Howard. Look and see the Shoggoth.
Looking to see the Shoggoth? Oh yeah, that sounds great. How about we not look and see that? Childhood trauma finished the childhood dream sequence in the Loreid mansion. Me no likey. Day 3, Family Secrets, February 23rd, 2012. Jeez. Yeah. That's not okay. Yeah, so about that, that is not okay. So nobody's shown up as far as I could tell. I couldn't get into any of these rooms up here, right? These were locked or whatever? I think. Let's see. Oh, that's open. Oh, this was not open before. I don't think, right? Was this room open? It wasn't as Kid Howard. I'm trying to remember if this was open as Adult Howard. I feel like it was not, but maybe it was. Can't remember now. Come Howard, look at the Shoggoth. Anybody who says, come Howard, look at the Shoggoth, needs to get shot. How dare you do that to anybody, but especially to the little kid. Ooh, examine, what's this? Books seem old. See a lot of strange titles like Antediluvial Shamanism, the Book of Pronunciation of Zeisis, the Ocean of, the Book of Hile Bin Fazra, Cult de Ghoul, The Murdered Mystery. There's just a bunch of book names, and some others with names I can't even pronounce. From the Oceans of Pangea, Cult de Ghoul, yeah. German one. Anyway, okay. Oh, it's the same. Okay. That's just more on the same shelves. Okay. What's this? Black mirror prepared in a human head shape. Oh. Ah. I am not sure I'm a fan of that. Examine. Since the day I unwillingly attended that unspeakable ceremony that eternally cursed my soul, I felt like I have no power in me anymore. Even the horrible atmosphere was enough to crush my soul. But seeing him was too much for me, even though he was disguised as a human. Wonder if this is by Nathanael, our grandfather, or whatever he actually is. They call him Nyarlathotep. Yeah, Nyarlathotep is another thing from Cthulhu. And he came through the big, shining, evenly cut crystal stone with many faces in exchange for human sacrifices. Their screams, like a window was opened to hell, and I could hear the suffering souls under torment. I clasped my ears with my shivering hands. I tried to cover them so tightly that no sound would reach me any more. I think I faintly remember something about this name Nyarlathotep and the ceremony of summoning. If memory serves, 10 years ago when I was still a police officer, I was looking at some old records and came across a strange case about a cult named Starry Wisdom. They were using a crystal stone to summon a creature from beyond. It was said the creature would only come in exchange for many sacrifices. Yeah. I was looking at some old records and came across named Starry Wisdom occupied an old church building. Okay. Their screams, like a window was opened to hell, and I could hear the suffering soul's torment. Yeah, that. Okay. For a while, there was complete silence, but a mockingly brief moment, there's complete silence, a mockingly brief moment of relief. But then I started to hear strange, evil music played, with flutes accompanied by dim rumblings of unseen drums, though I was still tightly closing my ears. No, that does stick out a little bit, but I don't know if that's enough. Yeah, no, okay. This music sent chills down my spine, and that's when he came, suddenly, like an earthquake, like a storm. Just one look at his triumphant face was enough to leave eternal wounds on my soul. Yes, he was in humanly guise, but his countenance betrayed the lies behind that mocking mask he wore. But no, let's see, hang on. Is that the mask I just picked up? Okay. But no, I'm deeply grateful for that mask. I don't know what would happen to me if he had appeared in any other form he could take shape in. Okay. So I guess all we're getting from this is the Nyarlathotep thing, but that's probably enough. Examine. This looks like part of a map with coordinates on it, but is severely damaged. Doesn't seem I can examine any of it more than just this close-up. Okay. An old human skull. The jaw is tied to the skull with a rope. Okay. Page from an almanac. Probably trying to figure out when a prophecy is gonna take place, kind of a thing. Oh, there's another page. Since the child came, I don't feel right. Indeed, I'm very afraid of him, But I had to take him in because Jediah ordered me to, giving him exactly what his caretaker instructed, but it's still ineffective. Yesterday, he killed one of the maids, a young lady named Alice, during a severe seizure. It was horrible to see. I think I shall have to lock him up somewhere he can't get out of. He's too ferocious, wild, evil. Nevertheless, he is a semi-human. In essence, he is one of them, an offspring of the ancient race. Yet locking him up be a necessity when Ingrid comes back from the hospital anyway, because she shouldn't see him. Okay. This is what we heard from Jacob, the old man. He told us about this story about her getting killed. Where could this place be that he couldn't escape from? He's too ferocious, wild, and evil. Nevertheless, he is semi-human. In essence, he's one of them, an offspring of the ancient race. Lock him up, sissy. Okay, so... the child is not human. I mean, you kind of knew that anyway. That's what Jacob told you. He said that the child was not actually human. So, I don't know why that's surprising, but fine. We necessity when Ingrid comes back from the hospital. I don't think that's going to be anything. Yeah. Okay, so we got those. That's cool. More information. What is... I don't know if this is anything we need, but what is this? Nah, it's nothing. Okay. Probably I'm super weak or something. I don't even know. Stuck on the floor, I guess. Okay, can I get into any of these drawers? No. Not gonna bother with the books. I don't have a reason. Like, I don't have something revealed implying I should look at them more closely. And I already saw where he was saying they were a bunch of different titles and stuff, so probably the same. I looked at these drawers already, right? I guess that's it in here right now. Got the mask. That's pretty much all. Oh, do I still have gasoline? Oh, I used some in the generator. I thought I used it up. I guess not. This was the room he said his grandfather was in always. What the crap? Okay, that doesn't sound great. I'm not a fan of that noise. It's like something is trapped trying to escape. Maybe that's the boy who's not human. Preface: there are times when even the howlings of the fearful sirens are not enough to affect one. There are such times when even the withered moon that is hidden behind a cloud can affect and shatter a life which is in the darkness of a cave. Illusions of myths that are long forgotten affect and dominate the imagination unexpectedly. Thus, some people imagine primordial forests in which thousands of unknown life forms are living. Dark cities where life ended eons ago. Deserts where the highest towers of those dark cities now no more than simple pieces of rock, revealing only very tiny portions like the tip of an iceberg. Ah, publisher's Iceberg Entertainment! See what you did there? They wander in vast crypts which are full of the permanent smell of death, and in places where one can remember that beauty and splendor had once existed, proving that no beauty and splendor can exist forever. And some folk observe fascinating and dreadful details which others miss. And even if these details are sufficient to make them crazy, who can understand their meanings? But these details are carved into the minds of the ones who deliberately miss them. And in time, they change into myths, which in turn induce consternation. Sometimes, the past that should be dead shows itself cruelly in instant hallucinations and enchanted dreams. In such situations, a person can only have peace when he forgets everything. The fundamental thing is that really, time is the only friend of forgetfulness. Friendships are not eternal. Peace is a luxury which can be obtained through eternal sleep for those who do not have dependence. Pikmin. Hey, that was the dude we talked to in the first one that was outside of Ivar Bergen's shack. Okay. We were a fan of some of his poetry and stuff. Okay, let's just do this a sentence at a time. I don't know that any of this... This actually, last paragraph might have some stuff. I don't know if any of the others or any of the rest of this really is going to have anything. But it's worth trying. I didn't do this either. I don't think that's going to be anything, though. Okay. Nope, nothing there. Kind of reset. I think I partially clicked, even though nothing showed up. Carved in the minds deliberately in time conservation. See, none of this stuff. This would be the part kind of that might, although I doubt it still, but the part that might have something. The whole, like having hallucinations instead. Really, time's the only friend of forgetfulness. Friendships are not eternal. There's no reason that would be a clue. And then finally, peace is a luxury. Nope. Okay. So, although interesting, no clues from that. Okay. Strange, the jewelry box is empty. Oh, do I have, what if, can I put this here? No, okay. It doesn't even do the little flashy thing like as if I could put something there. So maybe I don't ever try to put something in the box. Doesn't seem like it. Yeah. So it's empty, which is weird, but let's see. Thought I did that, but I guess. Oh, secret. Oh, I should examine it again. I see. An envelope I found in the jewelry box. So back out. Now I have this envelope. Oh, you like got a whole book in the envelope? That was like a hefty duty thing. Yeah, Demon Child. Okay, July 11th, 1983. Since I don't have anyone around I can confide in, I've decided to write down some of the things that have begun to gravely concern me about my husband, Nathanael. We have some honest and nice maids, but of course I cannot talk with them about everything. The first 2 years of our marriage were great. We lived in a small apartment in downtown Wellsmouth, but soon I fell ill. It was nothing serious, but Nathaniel strongly insisted that we follow the advice of the doctors and move to this house. The house had been empty for a long time, about 18 years, I think. It was built by Nathaniel's ancestors, and his family line has always lived here, but he had never been here before and didn't know much about that place, or about the place. We learned most of what we did know from some friendly locals of Arkmend, the closest town to this isolated place. Not everyone treated us in a friendly manner there. I always felt a strong hostility toward us, especially from older people. When they looked at me, I felt goosebumps all over my body. Soon, I learned the reason for this bizarre animosity. Okay, let's see. I don't think so, but let's try this, maybe. No, okay. Arkman, we already know what Arkman is. That's probably nothing. Okay. Strong hostility, probably no. I don't think there's anything else in that. Okay. Back then, we didn't have any servants. When Nathaniel went to his study, I was all alone, and what I enjoyed most was going down to Arkman in our car. I loved that old town. It has a strange, mesmerizing aura of long-lost ages, and always made me feel like I was in an old medieval village. But the townspeople, not too long after we arrived, I noticed that their attitudes are as old as the town itself. Most of them were highly pessimistic and superstitious. Some shop owners and the innkeeper told me the truth behind their hatred. They hated Nathaniel's family and even hated outsiders like me who weren't part of the same bloodline. They told me the Loreid lineage had always been despised in Arkman, and this contempt was handed down to each new generation. Jeez. The Loreid lineage had always been despised in Arkman, and it was handed down with each generation. You don't find that interesting, huh? That your whole lineage is despised? Fine. I heard some tales told about that family. Childishly unbelievable, but genuinely frightening tales. When I told Nathaniel about these, he just laughed them off. He said that every uncivilized town has this kind of folklore. He was right, and this should have quelled my concerns. I still felt that something was deeply wrong. After a short time, my fears were confirmed. Nathanael started to change. He started to speak in his dreams with someone named Howard Loreid, and gradually spent more time in the family tomb. It seems he changed after coming to this house. I still don't have even the slightest idea what he was doing in there. I always loathed that building. Family tomb, yeah. Just once I went inside, but it creeped me out with all those old coffins of dead people, strange carvings and macabre pictures on the wet, mossy walls. At first, I rationalized Matthew's new behavior as simply a belated interest in his heritage, because I'd never heard him say anything about his family until then. But then, he started to speak about how some Loreids lived in this house under the veil of a strange secrecy, how various generations had built and restored the house, even explaining when and why they built that tomb in the garden. Maybe it sounds strange, but I continue to believe that the changes in him were nothing more than a temporary result of his newfound interest in his family history. I had no choice but to hope that when his interest faded, he would return to his normal self. Soon, the opposite proved true. I don't think there's anything in there we'll get. July 18th. What is the last one? July 11th, so a week later. 1983. As time passed, Nathanael became more obsessed with his lineage and its dark secrets. I often saw him in his study, looking out of the window, but lost in deep thought. After a few months, he developed some strange habits like sleepwalking, speaking to himself. He also started to correspond with strangers. Never seen the content of the letters, but judging from his reactions when he saw me getting a reply from the mailbox, it's clear there was something very special about them. I tried to convince him to see a psychiatrist, but he strongly opposed. He said there was nothing wrong with him, that he was just a man investigating his own past. As a Loreid, he said, he was late in taking over his family property, but from now on, he would live like a real Loreid. Don't think there's anything in here. I guess I'll do it anyway, though, just in case, but I don't think so. I expect to find nothing in this paragraph. Yeah, guess what? Around that time, our son William was born. Despite my concerns, it was the happiest time of my life. Nathanael even seemed to be going back to normal. I remember he smiled at me for the first time since his sudden change. But after that short period of joy, everything turned upside down again. He is my father, Williams. okay, is our father. Yeah, so Nathaniel's our grandfather. That's what I thought. Okay. I remember, okay. I don't think there's anything to be had from that. September 7th, so about another, no, this is, let's see, 18th, so 25th, it's about 2.5 weeks. 25, 32, so that'll be the first. Yeah, it's actually just under 3 weeks, like 2 weeks and 5 days or something. Among the disturbing things Nathaniel began doing in this house, and still does, I hate the strange meetings with his fellow correspondents most. Those who attend are disgusted beyond words, or are disgusting beyond words. Their looks, their smells, their use of language, they're completely repulsive. These meetings, which no one other than Nathaniel is allowed to attend, started to be arranged when Williams was 5. In secrecy, sometimes they talked for hours. After William's 5th birthday, Nathaniel changed even more drastically. Sometimes he'd mention distant and unusual places now he wanted to visit them. It became too upsetting for me to even listen to such childish ravings anymore. I don't think this will be anything. Yeah. And then... this does somewhat tie to things like Ivar Berrigan and Clark Field did in the first game. But no, nothing, yeah. I know even if I told him to stop, he wouldn't listen to me, for he's not the same person I married anymore. I curse the meetings for this drastic change in Nathaniel's mood and behavior. The visitors poison him with their stupid thoughts and beliefs. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Okay, let's move on. September 22nd, so we are now 15 days later, yeah. I don't know what to do anymore. 5 days ago, something awful happened. In the dead of night, a stranger with a little boy showed up here. Strangely, he seemed to know Nathaniel. They spoke for about 3 hours, and then the man left without the child. Then I learned that the boy was brought here to live with us. Unlawful adoption. I don't remember anything after that. I collapsed suddenly and needed to be hospitalized. I stayed there under surveillance for 4 days. When I came back, neither the child nor the maid, nor the maids, were here anymore. Only Chet remained our eldest servant. When I asked him about the maids, he said they quit and he didn't know anything about the boy. But I could easily tell he was lying, that he was obligated to do so. I don't know what happened here, but it seems that something went terribly wrong. Nathaniel doesn't speak with me anymore. He is always silent and seems confused. But I know that that boy is still around here somewhere. I can hear him. He screams at night. Jacob Armitage told me the same story. Why on earth would someone want to take a child from a stranger? What was so important about this child? I don't think that's anything. Yeah, okay. When I came back, neither the child nor the maids were here anymore. Only Chet remained, our eldest servant. Said the quit didn't know anything about the boy. Could easily tell he was lying. Obligated to do so. Don't know what happened here. Assumes something were terribly wrong. Okay, doesn't speak anymore. Always silent and seems confused. The boy is still around here somewhere. I hear him screams at night. Okay. April 14th, 1987. Oh. 3.5 years later. Right? September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So 7 months. Oh, it's a week. It's like 6 months and 3 weeks, but 7 months. And then 87. So 3.5 years later, over 3.5 years later. I haven't written anything in this diary for years. In fact, if it didn't abruptly catch my eye, I wouldn't have even remembered it was here. I'm not good with remembering anything anymore. Last year I needed to be hospitalized again. This one was very serious, I think. And I stayed at the hospital for 3 months. Anyway, finding this diary was a favorite coincidence, since yesterday Williams visited us. Not good with remembering things anymore? Maybe. To be hospitalized again. I don't think any of this other stuff probably. This is the first time he's come home after graduating from college. I can't even remember how many years it's been since he went away. How shameful for a mother. But he was not alone. He brought his wife and child, Howard, with him. What a lovely boy he is. It was heartwarming for me to see my grandson. I don't remember exactly when or how often I came or what I did here, but I've visited this place before. There's some hazy memories that have started to come back to me. Lately, particularly about coming here, but I still don't remember anything in detail. I'm not really sure. Not really sure. I want to, yeah. Okay. Nope. There we go. Williams hadn't told us he even got married. It's not unexpected. I was forced to send him to a school in Wellsmouth at such a very young age. Didn't want him to leave, but I couldn't let Nathanael and his friends affect him. So my father, just like my grandfather, was not aware of the wicked past of the Loreid family. I was very happy yesterday, but now I've noticed something. I didn't then, and it shakes me. Maybe this is stupid, maybe I'm making this up, but I was annoyed by the way Nathanael looked at Howard. As strange as he's acted at times, I've never seen him like that before. That glint in his eyes. He didn't take his eyes off Howard for the longest time. At the time, I dismissed it as simple love for his grandchild. This is only logical, of course. But now, I suspect it wasn't that at all. That countenance he wore as he gazed on the child. I could tell it was not affectionate pride in Howard, but something solely wicked in nature. That triumphant look actually was diabolical beyond imagination. So nothing about the way that he was looking at us, I guess. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. August 28th, 1988. This is another year and a half later. I can't take this. Nathanael is no longer even human. He and his disgusting friends are planning something terrible for Howard. I've got to get away from this cursed house that I should never have come to in the first place. From the first time I saw it, I felt this house was no good. Like something ungodly from the past still lives here. I'm going to escape and go to my son's apartment. I must warn him never to come here anymore. Neither he nor his family. They're speaking about Howard all the time. Some nonsense about summoning him beyond time. There's nothing but madness here. I'll also take that shiny metallic thing that Nathanael always wears hanging around his neck. I don't know what it is, but I do know it's important to them, and I will take it with me so we can't find it. I won't let him do any harm to my son and his family. Assuming this is no. Probably interpret that as metaphorical, I'm guessing. You're speaking about Howard at all times. Some nonsense about summoning him beyond time. I'll also take the shiny metallic thing that Nathanael always wears hanging around his neck. My grandmother wrote that she took a shiny metallic object with her when she tried to escape. Okay. I think that's all we're going to get out of there. And that's quite a bit, to be fair. I'm not saying it wasn't anything. Just that I think we're done. I'm not a fan of these noises, by the way. We came in there, so I guess this. Already we're in here, right? Yeah. This is our room. So awesome. That coming from up there or down here? Flashlight. Flashlight collector, good to have enough flashlights. You guys got an achievement. Yeah, maybe. I think it is up there. I don't know if there's anything else down here. We're gonna see. Can I open these now? Oh yeah, it has the key. And I don't have a key yet for that, right? Mask. It's not the same as a key. Last time I checked. Think so. That's just remember. Yeah, I guess it is just that room up there. I think we don't have any keys for doing outside, like the buildings that were closed. This way. Okay, here we go. Oh crap, is that the time? Yeah, okay, I gotta end. I have to go to sleep. I'm not even paying attention to the time. That's less than awesome. Okay. Okay. Well, that'll be it for tonight. We got quite a ways through though. Quite a bit of stuff done. So that's good. I don't know how far we still have to go. Yeah, you can tell I'm enjoying the game when I'm like not even paying attention at the time. Like I should have finished probably realistically about an hour ago at least. I didn't. I was just like, doo-doo-doo, it's fine. Nothing's going on. I have nothing else to do in the world. It's fine. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, I don't know how far we still have to go in the game. We've obviously made quite a bit of progress, right? Because, I mean, just by nature of how many places we've progressed to since just last time, right? Because like last time, for instance, we started out at least still in the old building and or like the what do they call it? Anyway, the caverns or whatever below, right? We were still there at the beginning of last time. And then we summoned and ended up, waking up and going to town and talking to Jacob. All of that was last time. And then this time, from Jacob, we made it here to the mansion. Did the whole first night of the mansion, finding stuff. Did the whole dream sequence. And then I've done a fair amount of exploring since then as well. So I'm pretty pleased with the progress we've made. I think we've done a really good job made a really good headway on the progress, I guess is what I'm kind of trying to say. So, but it's still hard to say because you can get hung up on clues. So we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. Hopefully though, we won't have a huge amount more. I'm hoping maybe a month from now we'll be done with it. We'll see. That's the idea anyway. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, Monmouth, Faux Fox, anybody who watches this later. I appreciate the support. Hope you guys have been having fun. I've been having fun myself, trying to figure everything out. And like I said, they've got a lot of ties to Lovecraftian stuff. It's really cool. I like it quite a bit. Anyway, talk to you soon. Take care. Until next time.
Poor spider.
This freaking boy.
Oh, that's so sad.